Section 19. Are we good on that?
Yes.
Refusal to resume cohabitation. So where husband and wife are parties, to an agreement of separation.
No, an agreement
for separation, whether oral, in writing, or constituted by conduct. The refusal of one of them without reasonable justification to comply with the other's bona fide request to resume cohabitation shall constitute, as from the date of the refusal, willful desertion without just cause or excuse on the part of the parties so refusing.
It's the same thing. Is this same scenario?
Same scenario. We
Okay.
agree that we should be apart for some time. Then after
Then later you come and carry me.
come.
There's more than now you refuse to follow up again.
But there's something I'm
It's
saying
not
here.
become willful desertion.
It says it shall constitute that it shall constitute as from the date of the refusal.
And that is from the time where efforts has been made. You understand? It is now for the petitioner to say, no, as soon as I called him, you understand, that I have now gotten my visa and I want to come now. And by our arrangement originally, he was supposed to send me money. He refused to send the money now for me to come. For example, you understand? Now he refused to send the money for me to come. So it's now willful.
Because this date is a technical clause to now determine when the time starts to count.
But at least it may not be so exclusive. It may not be so exclusive to say this thing occurred on the 5th day of March. But it's reasonable enough to say, as at sometime in February, I had called this man. How far this our arrangements? Am I coming or what is going to happen? Do you understand? And the person is not forthcoming. The responses are not responding as it should. And that being the case, that means the person has willfully decided that no,
they will not resume cohabitation.
They will not resume cohabitation, yes.
Okay.
There are circumstances where it's even one of the other party that has even funded the other one to go abroad.
What if it is as a result of circumstances that is beyond his control? Maybe he doesn't have money to send to her to come over to meet him. Would that amount to refusal?
Okay, that would ordinarily not amount to refusal, but it's arguable.
But it's reasonable.
It says, let's check it again. It says the refusal by one of them without reasonable justification.
So if you say you don't have money,
if you have a reasonable justification why you cannot resume cohabitation, the court can consider that reasonable justification and allow you. That's why this marriage thing is a very controversial matter. It's not something that you should just go and enter the act, because when you enter the act you beg. Is it not this comedian that say you cry? You are begging the court to now say you must please
let me go.
Please let my people go. Because look at the issue of reasonable justification now. I can just go and create a reasonable justification for my actions, because every action most likely has a reasonable justification, and to check a reasonable justification is a very controversial issue.
Those things are very subjective.
It's even subjective to the person that is sitting there.
Yes.
Section 2, subsection 2, section 19, subsection 2. Are we together? Jeremiah, I have not heard your voice. Subsection 2. For the purpose of this section, reasonable justification means justification that is reasonable in all the circumstances, including the conduct of the other party to the marriage, since the marriage, whether that conduct took place before or after the agreement for separation. Okay? This is an expanded reasonability. That reasonable, it says for the purpose of the section, reasonable justification means justification that is reasonable in all the circumstances, including the conduct of the other party to the marriage since the marriage, whether that conduct took place before or after the agreement for separation. So even if the conduct is not entirely during the period of desertion, There might be
Maybe
conducts
prior
that
to
you
that time.
read meaning to
Yeah.
that took place prior to that time that is suggestive of the fact that
Why
before
domestic violence?
okay.
Maybe you have been beaten before now.
Mm.
You have been beaten. Maybe you have been tolerated. So that abroad is more or less your escape route. There's no point. There's no point making any arrangement for you to now come again. You are a thorn in the flesh ordinarily. And just now that the facts are now being clearer and known.
And I still think that
you know that the female gender, they have those abilities.
Usual.
The female gender, they have those abilities. to a woman can easily bear with you. You understand?
Having long-term plans.
But once the thing, the game is different. You understand? Once the game is just slightly different, not even big, slightly different, they start behaving differently. I have one recently now. The girl went to Ghana to go and work that they are paying now $1,000. She's not telling me that I should leave my work and come to Ghana. Can you imagine?
To Ghana.
I should leave my work and come to Ghana, not even US, Ghana.
But you can
This is somebody that I used to feed though. Yes, so.
Is it that one that you bought shawarma that time?
You went to Ghana, you just have small money. Your first $1,000, you will not allow me to rest. Have I not made $1,000 before?
You were saying something.
I was intending to make a contribution to the reasonable justification that it must not occur after the agreement. It could be before or after.
The agreement.
Then I meant to contribute to the fact that this conduct could be that the other party, it has not come to the attention of the other party before then. It could come to his attention maybe after the agreement has been made. For example, maybe the man or woman never knew that the man was a cheater, but maybe after the agreement it came, maybe he got evidence and maybe this could be a reasonable justification for him or her to refuse to resume cohabitation. Thank you.
Okay. That's actually a reasonable justification.
For the refusal to resume cohabitation, just that it is now contradicting the thing.
Okay.
Because ordinarily it is the petitioner that is trying to establish
Your
the
own conduct
of the respondent in refusing to resume cohabitation. So if it is the petitioner that is now talking of cheating, that means it is the petitioner that is saying, I refuse to resume cohabitation because of the cheating. So the respondent is the petitioner is taking that burden. The petitioner is saying, I deserted you because of this reason.
Okay.
That means
it will be two different
circumstances. So the petitioner will not be relying on the ground of dissertation now. The petitioner will be relying on the activities that are so unreasonable for a reasonable person to stay with the respondent on those circumstances which we read in section 16, where you now have this cheating as one of them.
Yes.
But if you now want to deal with it under this desertion, it's like you that is the petitioner ordinarily wants to resume cohabitation. It is the person,
so the respondent's
conduct that has made it difficult for you people to resume. So you are trying to prove it, but the respondent now can come to prove reasonable ground why he has not resumed, which might be financial, which might be one thing or the other, as his reasonable ground, because his reasonable ground is a defense. You are saying dissolve. His reasonable ground is saying this is my defense why we should not dissolve. It never reached like that. Are you getting the point? Because you look at it from two angles, the petitioner's angle and the respondent's angle.